Hey everybody, welcome back. This is sort of something that I just thought about doing today. And that is answering some questions based off of a subreddit post where a lot of people ask questions about their hikes coming up. So I'm going to go find that post and we're going to answer some questions. Okay, so the name of this post is Pre-Trail 2023 No Stupid Questions AT Edition. Got a question you're afraid to make a post for? Ask it here. So if any of you guys don't know who I am, my name is Pesto. My trial name is Pesto. I hiked last year in 2022 as a solo female hiker, pronouns she, her, and I'm just gonna answer some of the questions I see, especially if folks don't have Reddit to see the answers to them that are already here. All right, let's get started. So, are alcohol stoves allowed? The answer is allowed. The answer is yes, but in my opinion, it's not the best thing to use, only because gas canisters are so readily available. I think the pro to using alcohol over gas is that you can see how much fuel you have left. But if you kind of know how much a gas can last you, whether it's the 4 ounce or the 8 ounce can, then it shouldn't be a big deal. And you come into town pretty easily enough where running out really shouldn't be a problem. The other side to that is if it is a problem, you know, there's usually tons of hikers around that, you know, it's you have people to bump off of. Another question I saw on here is asking about sunscreen, which I think is a pretty good question because a lot of the times when someone's doing research for the AT, they are like, oh, the AT, the green tunnel, it's on the East Coast, lots of trees. However, you know, the leaves don't come out until end of March, beginning of April, typically in the South, maybe a little bit earlier, but I'd say end of March is probably on point. So I think just a little tube of sunscreen is good. And then someone mentioned here as an answer that mechanical sun protection is best. So that means a hat, long sleeves, that sort of thing. Maybe sun gloves if you're especially sensitive. And honestly, for me, like eye protection, that is like number one because, and I realized since getting off the AT, my eyes are so sensitive to sunlight. I have to wear it no matter what, sunglasses that is. Next question here. Someone is asking about a trail guide or a book as a primary for planning ahead of time. Honestly, I think the Far Out app is plenty good. Another resource I use to especially plan my food drops is the whiteblaze.net website, and you can look up Whiteblaze hostels 2023, whatever year you're hiking, and it will pull up a full list, more or less accurate, of what is available for you to like send food to, and it gives you the mileage, the name of the hostel, and usually the price, and if you know laundry and showers included, as well as if pets are included or if there's a charge for that as well. I found that resource very, very useful. I'm also in lieu sort of writing a book, or more so a guide for sending resupply boxes. And I've been seeing a lot more questions on here regarding sending resupply boxes. So I think that kind of helps my motivation to actually finish completing, writing that. I started at the end, like when I finished the trail in like September, and then I kind of have fallen away from that. Anyways, if the camera shakes, I'm using a flower pot to put my tripod on because I only have this small tripod. I don't have a bigger one. So it's kind of windy out today. In case it blows, that's why it just fell off the tripod. So we're doing good here. Okay, I had moved again because my camera was just moved. Anyways, so another question here is a start date after finishing college and or high school. So my opinion on this is just go Sobo. Save yourself the hustle from trying to get to Katahdin on time before October 10th or 15th, whenever they close. That's my opinion. Unless you're very athletic and you want the challenge to really push yourself, I don't really see a need for that. Plus, the Sobo bubble is getting bigger and bigger every year. And honestly, when I was in New Hampshire, the Sobos were some of the coolest people I'd ever met. I thought they were so chill, and what they were doing is insanely awesome. However, you're doing a traditional start, you know, February, March. It seems like, kind of from seeing on Instagram, there's been a good number of January starters, which is insane to me. So it seems like people are starting earlier and earlier every year, but I think you'll still get some pretty good solitude and fewer crowds in February. But January is just far too early. There are too many ice storms and rainstorms that happen in the winter time, even in the south, and people really don't think that there are 4,000 footers in the south, and then also they kind of forget that the south is still very wet, and very wet plus cold equals extra cold. So just, you know, start when you want to start, hike your own hike, but don't start too early in my opinion, unless you like are afraid of, unless you have a lot of time or you're on a time crunch, or if you're not on a time crunch, you want to have the time to like take off trail, see people, have time for injury. Like that worked out really well for me. And I was actually planning on finishing like a whole month earlier than I did. But, you know, I met some people, kind of lollygagged in the middle of the trail, and also had to get off for about 2 weeks altogether from like injury and weather. Maybe even 3 weeks. Honestly don't know. I haven't even calculated that. But yes, if you're Sobo, not super stellar in shape, or if you're graduating college in May and you're not super in shape, just go south. Another question on here that I thought was kind of funny, but it's a good question nonetheless, especially if you don't know much about hostels or the AT. When you take a shower at a hostel, do they provide soap? Yes, they will provide you soap, showers, and some hostels will charge you extra for laundry. Just, it's like $5. It's not a big deal. And you're gonna want that laundry cleaned. So they might charge you like $5 for laundry soap and to use a washer dryer, but usually they provide you with shampoo, conditioner. Not always conditioner, and that was like one of my gripes. Like in Virginia, I was like, man, none of these hostels realize that there are girls here who need conditioner for their hair. So I actually picked up a little tube of argan oil from like Walmart or something like that, and that worked out great for me. I was able to like put some moisture back in my hair. So on here, there's a question about a ground sheet. This person has a Cloud Up 2. It's a Fly Creek knockoff, and their ground sheet is quite weighty. But I've seen other questions about ground sheets and whether or not people use a tarp or what. But a lot of people use Polycro. You can buy that on Amazon. Like the 6 Moon Designs Polycro is like 10 or 15 bucks for 2 of them. Z-Packs, Gossamer Gear. You can buy a big thing of Tyvek and then cut it out to your tent dimensions. And Tyvek is actually a bit more durable than Polycro, but if you take care of your Polycro, it should be fine. I didn't replace mine until Massachusetts, and I had used my Polycro on several hikes before I even got on the AT. So Polycro isn't an impossible thing to bring out there with you. I think no matter what ground sheet or ground cloth that you use, it can retain moisture. So it can hold some weight when it's wet, but if it's a sunny day out or whatever, breezy, just unravel it, let the thing dry out, and it'll be back to like 2 ounces or whatever it is. All right, another question that I've seen quite a bit on the subreddit is asking about hiking pants. In my opinion, just bring like a lighter hiking pants, nothing too crazy, especially for women's products. They don't really make very well fitting hiking pants in my opinion, especially if you're a little bit curvier. So I brought Bali pants on me, and I hiked in those until they were just too baggy and just causing me chafing, and I think I ditched those. I think I carried them until Virginia, but I think I stopped wearing them far beyond that. But just like a light pair will do. Guys are a little bit different, but I saw a lot of people just bringing like shorts and then putting leggings on underneath them, and that seemed to work out just fine. And I think as long as you also have a pair of rain pants, that's going to be the biggest and most important thing, just because rain pants obviously protect you from the rain and keep your legs a little bit warmer on those colder days. regardless if it's raining or not. And as far as what guys bring out there, it seems like Prana is the most popular brand. I know Bali also makes a men's version as well. Outdoor Research, there's a lot of those. So just, you know, do your research, wear what fits right. Don't spend a ton of money if you don't have to. Don't need to do name brand everything. Bali is kind of a, I think he's a little bit more main brand now, but it's still kind of a knockoff brand that's not like, ooh, Patagonia or ooh, North Face or anything like that. So, you know, just buy what you need to buy. Don't do anything too crazy. All right, this one is about power bank / charging. You come into town about every 3 to 5 days, depending on your pace and kind of where you're at on the trail. I think the longest time I went without going into a place was in Massachusetts, Connecticut area. But typically, I think the average person brings about 10,000 milliamp hour battery banks. I carried a 30,000, but that's because I had a headlamp, my phone. Was that it? I think that was it. Oh, my wireless earbuds. So, you know, 10,000 is pretty typical, but if you're planning on taking a lot of footage, using your phone a lot, listening to music, that sort of thing, you're going to want a little bit higher power bank. But I want to worry about going insanely long stretches, especially once you get your trail legs. 5 days is probably the maximum. You'll go and your phone's sitting on airplane mode most of the time, unless you really like to just suck the phone life out of your the battery life out of your phone. So, but 10,000 is about accurate. Maybe 20,000, or bring like a small backup, so a total of 15. And to add on to that, a lot of the places you'll kind of get off town or get off trail to go into, like maybe a gas station or a little like restaurant just half mile down the trail, you will become so good at finding power outlets. It's crazy. Like even to this day, I'm like, ooh, power outlet, like it's there if I need it. I know where to go. But yeah, and then I've even seen some of the wall plugs that actually have a battery in that, so that's also a pretty cool thing. I think that might be like Anchor has that. I've seen that. I think these next couple points will be the last points I do for this video, and I can always make another one if this one, you know, carries at all. Just let me know in the comments. But one of the first questions is about how to carry clean water. I saw very few people using a right now, but like an actual water bottle. Camelback, not a Camelback. Some people carried Camelbacks. My hiking buddy Kosi, he actually ditched his about a month or two into the trail just because it was like a lot to take care of and to clean. So, you know, usually just a smart water bottle is fine. I actually had 2 smart water bottles that I used for my clean water until my CNOC bag busted, and then I used my but prior to that, I just used my CNOC bag for dirty water only, so I knew no matter what hard container I was putting water into, that was clean water. And obviously I just used a Sawyer squeeze. I saw a lot of people out there with Katadines, but to me, like I used one Sawyer the whole time, but I knew people who had to buy multiple Katadines, and they're definitely more expensive than the Sawyer, and I think even up to twice as much as the Sawyer squeeze. So in my opinion, just get the Sawyer, flush it out when you have to, and just kind of be wary that sometimes city water can actually clog up your filter, and just back flush whenever you filter water in the outdoors. It's really easy. And then just carry like a CNOC bag, or just know what your dirty water bottle is. The only problem I had with dirty water, so the only problem that I had with the dirty water bottle was you'll squeeze like all the air out, so when you're like a third of the way through or half of the way through, you need to unscrew your Sawyer and then retighten it and squeeze again. And I think with smart water bottles in the Sawyer squeeze, it's really easy to tie it too tight, so your O-ring might get stuck onto your Sawyer, and you might lose that, which that's very important. I actually found a couple next to water sources from people doing that, and you know, I've seen a lot of like Sawyer's or smart water bottles actually like kind of get cracked, so you're kind of like risking your clean water by using a smart water bottle. because eventually it might, you know, develop pinholes and you have dirty water leaking down the side. I mean, the same thing can happen with the Cealoc bags, but I think the newer Cealoc bags that came out, it should be sturdier and it shouldn't be a big deal like it was when I was on trail. Let's see. Question about hitchhiking. I think it always helps if you know, offer to like give someone any money, or if like someone's offering you to stay at their like kind of unreported hostel, if you know what I'm saying. So just sort of offer money, and if they, you know, politely decline, you know, I wouldn't push any further if they don't want your money. But I think it's always nice to carry a couple bucks and give it when you have the chance. Let's see, I can't remember, I got sidetracked. There's a cat outside, but it's trying to eat the birds. We have a lot of bird feeders, and there's like 30 birds in the backyard. But I think the last 2 points were really about hitchhiking and how to carry your clean water. So that being said, if you guys have any more specific questions, or if I find any more repeating questions on the subreddit or Facebook pages, I will make another video. Again, I have lots of backpacking experience before the AT and the AT itself. So especially if you're a female and you didn't know anything specific female related that I did for myself, I will be more than happy to answer those questions as well. So again, if you want another video like this, just leave comments, like, subscribe, tell your friends, post on all the pages, help a girl out. Yeah, and thanks for watching. Bye. Alright, you guys, I was not kidding. I literally put my tripod on the rim of this thing and I'm looking at my computer. So yes, this is my trowel. I was actually looking for this for a while because I planted some native grasses in the front yard. But yeah, this, you know, works as a makeshift tripod stand. And then over here I have some wildflower seeds planted in these toilet paper cups, and then green pepper in those cups. So that's just a fun blooper. See you guys.